What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Space Arena Ground Arena, where we are covering all arenas of gaming now. And today is going to be my first video talking about another card game besides Star Wars Unlimited. Today, I want to take a look at the Cyberpunk TCG that's currently on Kickstarter. It is raised $19,222,427 as of me recording this. It has 29,275 backers, and there is 6 days to go on the Kickstarter. It is by far the most funded TCG of all time on Kickstarter. More than tripled, I believe, the previous record holder for most funded TCG. So I figured we would look through the Kickstarter page. I would talk about it a little bit, give my thoughts why I am excited for this game coming out, and why we're going to start covering it. Well, all right. So here it is. Get out of here. Like I said, 19 million. We're not going to watch the demo video. You can watch the video on here if you want. There's some card images and some cool stuff there. But so most funded Kickstarter game ever. So the purpose of the Cyberpunk TCG is you play as the leader of an edge runner street crew, and you're fighting a rival crew to become a Night City legend. Looks pretty cool. Why back now? Because you can get free stuff. I'm not going to go through everything. There's a bunch of cool alt arts and what they're calling Nova Rares of alternate arts of cards from both the Edge Runners anime and Cyberpunk 2077 that you'll get if you pledge. And then the pledge tiers, you have your starter deck. One thing that really caught my eye initially when I was looking at this is when I saw the set of dice. So this universe, Android Netrunner, gets its start from tabletop RPG. So having this set of dice incorporated into the game is a nice touch. I should say this game is made by Weirdco. This is their first TCG, which is a little. Most first TCGs don't go right for companies, but with the backing of CD Projekt Red and how big the Kickstarter is, and listening to podcasts from the people working at Weirdco, they're all card game people. So it gives me a little bit more hope. And you get your various tiers, and they get more expensive as you go, and you get more stuff out of it as you go. This was an $8,000 bundle, which is pretty crazy. But it came with serialized cards. Let's take a look at some of this artwork on some of this stuff. Is pretty cool. Here's what you get with the different tiers. Like you can go on Kickstarter. I'll link the Kickstarter in the video. And then obviously the add-ons and accessories, Dragon Sleeve or Dragon Shield sleeves for everything. Playmats, of course. What would a trading card game be without a bunch of playmats? And then the custom dice. We're really getting through this, so I get to the meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about, which is the actual game itself. But I figured we would just scroll through the Kickstarter so everybody can see the different things that are in it and how much support there is behind this, and all the partnerships Weirdco and CD Projekt Red have developed already to make this game. Yeah, lots of binders. So you can see here's their partners they're working with already for all this stuff. The stretch goals, there's a beta box, and basically each stretch goal makes the beta box better. All the Kickstarter cards, you're gonna have a beta marker, security film, upgraded dice, a playmat added to the beta box. So if you're backing on a level that comes with the beta box. You get basically all this stuff in it, which is a bunch of alt arts and sleeves, play mats, and then the option, like the stretch goals also added more variants for additional add-ons, and then a bunch of different rares. So 20 million is the next goal, and you'll get an over rare alt art Lucy. Yeah. So the beta box is unlocked at 100,000, and you can see this is all the stuff that was added to it after each stretch goal. Which the fact that they have the 20 million stretch goal is pretty insane. So there's a good how to play video on the Cyberpunk YouTube page. There's also Main Deck Dan did a really good how to play video. That's this one here. Good Time Society. Why does it keep going up so far? Good Time Society's covered it. Bunch of content creators have covered it. But here's the kind of stuff I want to get into. So the card anatomy. This is a leader card. So when you build your deck, it's going to be a 40 to 50 card deck. And you're building a crew to take over Night City. And you have 3 leaders, basically you hire to run your crew. So your leaders start face down and can be used as resources. So you essentially start the game with 3 resources in play. But then some of the stuff I want to look at, you see my pointer up here's the RAM. So the legend, this gives you 2 blue RAM. It's for your cyber deck or your deck for deck building. How many RAM you have for each color determines the maximum cost of the cards in that color that you can have in your deck. So if you only have 2 blue RAM in your deck, your cyber deck, your leader, what the leader gives you for deck building, you can only have 2 cost blue cards. You couldn't have 4 costs or 3 costs. Top left is the actual cost of the card to play it. And this is a leader card, so they start face down. There's ways to get them face up. And then the go solo, you can pay their cost to put them into play as a unit if they have this go solo tag. Some of them can go solo, some of them do not go solo, and they're just passive effects. And then you can play it as a unit for the leader. The units are just played. So you start with 3 legends face down, and then throughout the game you can flip them face up, and some of them bring into play. And the goal of the game is not to reduce your opponent's life point total. It is not to destroy their base or their towers or whatever. The goal of the game is to control more, to have more gigs, more jobs completed than your opponent, more street cred. So that's what the dice are for. Each turn you'll roll in one of your dice except the D20. That has to be the last dice. And if you start your turn and you control 6 gig dice, you win. The first person to do that wins. And then there is an overtime period where the first person to reach 7 gig dice under their control automatically wins. So I feel like these games, and from the videos I've seen and what I've played with the print and play decks that I will also link, the games go pretty quick back and forth. It's like a minimum of 4 turns and like a maximum of 8 basically. So the games go quick. You get a best of 3 in pretty well. And there's a constant tension. There's always like a back and forth because you're trying to control the gigs. So how you do it, when you roll on your dice, when you attack your opponent, if they don't have a blocker, you can, with your units, you can attack spent cards or exhausted cards. You can attack directly to your rival, and when you attack them, you take one of their gig dice. And there's ways to steal multiple dice. And then there are blocker units that you can spend or exhaust to now become the target of that attack. So blocker, yeah. Oh, the cell tag, if they have this little Eddie symbol in the corner, that is a card that during gameplay, it works like Lorcana's inking system where you play cards once per turn to your resource area. In Cyberpunk, they call them Eddies. But not every card can be sold and put in as a resource. They have to have this Eddie symbol. So it's very similar to the Lorcana inking system. Deck building is 40, 50 cards, which do not include your legends. Maximum 3 copies of the same card, and then your legends. And then, like I said, the cards in your deck must stay within the RAM in color. There are print and play decks, which are to test the game out. They're pretty cool. The starter decks each come with a set of dice and a 40 card deck and 3 legends. Booster packs, there's going to be 36 packs in a box, 12 cards in a pack, 7 common, 3 uncommon, and 2 rare. Plus, there's like 3 or 4 different versions of rare. So rare, epic rare, secret rare, iconic rare, and a nova rare. Some card arts. Yeah, let's take a look at some Cyberpunk stuff, some art galleries. So obviously, and then they have an organized play structure that was announced here on the Kickstarter. So pre-releases, Night City Weekly Brawls, which are your weekly events, and then Night City Showdown, which are like store championships, and then that's like your more casual tier events, and then your competitive level, Night City District Open, Edge Runner Regional, Black Sapphire Invitational Championship, and then the World Championship. So they already have an OP like structure in place, so how that works, and then all their. But what I wanted to go through also was look at the rules real quick. So here, so the win condition, the goal is to collect more gigs than your rival, represented by the dice. If you have 6 gig dice in your area, when you start your turn, you win the game. If both players go a turn, so after you roll on your D20, then you get another turn. And if nobody's won, then it goes to overtime. And then once somebody controls 7 dice, they win. If your deck reaches 0 cards, you lose. Here's like their playmat. So it has like the gig area up in the top. This is the fixer area, which is where all your dice start. Your legends area where they start face down. These are your eddies, deck discard, and then the battlefield. Kind of wonder. So power is like the only. There's no health. There's no defense. It's just straight up power. And when you're attacking another unit, if your power is equal to or higher than theirs, if your power is higher than theirs, you win and that unit is defeated. The damage is not sustained. It doesn't stick around. It goes away. If it's a tie, then both units are defeated, which is something useful to note. Another thing with stealing gigs, if you attack your rival to steal a gig, for every 10 power you have, you steal an additional gig dice. So if you attack with a 10 power unit, you'll get 2 gig dice. If you attack with a 20 power unit, you would take 3 gig dice if they have that many. Programs are their events. They're one-time use effects. And gear is upgrades, stuff you play on other units. Attacking happens when this unit attacks before a resolution of the fight. Flipping is usually for legends. As soon as you flip the card, you trigger that effect. Units cannot attack the turn they are played. They don't come in spent, so they can't be attacked by your opponent. They come in a unspent state or like readied, but you can't attack with them. But any other card effects they have could be triggered or relevant. So to set up, you're going to shuffle, place your deck, get your dice in your fixer area, randomly choose who goes first. Luckily, everybody has to bring a set of dice with them, so you can always have a way to randomly select who goes first. You're going to draw 6. It's a full mulligan, just like Star Wars Unlimited. You can shuffle your hand back into your deck and pull a new 6. At the start of your turn, you draw a card, you roll a gig dice into the pool, and then you ready all your cards, except for the first player on the first turn of the game only starts with one of their leaders ready. There are 2 spent. So the first player on the first turn has 1 resource ready. They can sell another card in as an eddy, so they can play 2 costs on their first turn. And it costs 2 cards to flip one of your leaders over. So think about that. So here, calling for a legend once per turn, you spend 2 eddies to flip one of your legends. don't peek. You kind of you shuffle your legends before you place them out on the mat. So you shuffle your deck, you shuffle your legends, and then place them so you don't know which legend is where. So that's a little bit of variance. And then for the gig dice, when you roll it in, the value on the dice is the street cred value. So it's how much street cred you have currently. And there are card effects that will trigger kickers based on the amount of street cred you do or do not have. Um, so here's what attacking looks like when you attack a unit. You spend your attacking units, you exhaust it, turn it right. If it has an attack trigger, you resolve it, and then you go to the defense step if your opponent wants to. So you can call a legend on your opponent's turn, and it happens during the defense step of combat. So at the same point, you would choose to declare a blocker that is ready. You can't use spent blockers. The blockers have to be ready. You could spend it to make it become the target, and you can also flip one of your legends if you have the eddies to do so. And then for the fighting, when your units, you can bear the power. Higher power wins. If it's equal, both units are defeated. Any gear attached to a unit is also goes to the trash. And then if you're attacking a rival directly, you're not attacking their unit. If they don't have a blocker, you steal the gig. Like I said, units cannot attack the turn they are played. Deck building, you use 3 legends with unique names. You have no more than 40 cards, or no less than 40 and no more than 50. Your legends don't count, no more than 3 copies of a card, and the cards must stay within the RAM limit set by your legends. Like I said, the RAM limit is in the top right. That's how much RAM for that color that leader would give you. So if you had Goro here and Saburo, you have a total of 4 green rams. You can play 4 cost cards in your deck that are green. So those are the quick rules. So initially, I'll be honest, I wasn't super excited. I'm very wary of Kickstarter games anymore. I've backed a few other Kickstarter TCGs. None of them have really been successful, especially the ones I've backed. Like I know, I think Flesh and Blood had like Monarch on there, and Grand Archive. Sorcery is very limited, but has a cult following. Um, I think Grand Archive and Flesh and Blood are probably like the most successful. But most of them fail. Like Alter just died, Runeslingers died, Cryptic died, MetaZoo died. A lot of TCGs have failed on Kickstarter, but not all of those had the backing of CD Projekt Red running a major IP like Cyberpunk / Android Netrunner. So that gives me a little more faith in it. But obviously, I was on the fence until I saw the main deck's how to play video, and I watched that, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I get this. I like the tug of war, the constant tension, the constant struggle. You can't have turn 1 wins because you don't have enough dice in the pool. So the way the game flows is cool. And then when I printed the decks out, I've been playing them myself. I'm having a blast with it. Obviously, the stuff in the alpha kit, print and play decks, are not super in-depth. They're very basic, vanilla. Just like, the Star Wars Unlimited demo decks everybody played before that game came out. It was very bare bones, dry, just trying to teach you core mechanics of the game. There's a lot of room for growth. There's a lot of room for depth. There's a lot of room for nuance. I'm excited for deck building. I'm excited to play this game more. I'm excited to do deck videos and cover the game more. But this is, like I said, I wanted to go through very quickly the Kickstarter, look at some rules, kind of explain the game, how it plays a little bit, and to share my excitement for a new card game to try. That is another IP I enjoy. I greatly enjoyed the Cyberpunk 2077 video game. I really enjoyed the Edge Runners anime. So I'm looking forward to jacking in to this TCG world with the rest of you that are also interested in Cyberpunk. So I think that'll probably do it for this one. I just wanted to, tell everybody, hey, this is out here. You got like 6 days left. It's a cool thing. Um, I'm excited for it. I know other people are excited for it. Um, so yeah, I'll link the Kickstarter. Uh, on the Kickstarter, you can find all these videos. You can find the print and play decks if you want to try it yourself. Um, I would recommend that. Just get a feel for it. Um, print the quick rule so you have something to reference, and go have fun. This game so far has been a lot of fun. So, and that's the main thing. Games are supposed to be fun. Go out. This one's going to be a blast to jack in with the rest of you tunes. So we will see you in the cyberspace arena of Cyberpunk. Have a good one.